Welcome to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, the daily talk show with the voice of Penn State football and men's basketball. You never know what special guest may stop on by any given day. Now here's the man of the hour, Mr. Steve Jones.
Great to be with you as Indiana rolls into town. They'll be here later today, and I mean later today, because Kurt Signetti, when they travel, they leave at 4:30. We're going to play UCLA in the Rose Bowl. We're leaving at 4:30 on Friday. We're going to play Purdue. We're leaving 4:30 on Friday. We're going to play Penn State. We leave 4:30 on Friday.
I guess I respect the commitment to it at this point.
Well, but Penn State essentially does the same thing, right? Except they do it earlier, right? The way James had done it over time, and of course Terry Smith sticks with the same schedule because
don't want to change it mid-season.
No, the schedule was put together before the season, like what time the flight leaves, things like that. Penn State always times it out so they're in the hotel by 3:30. You know, between 3:30 and 4.
Yeah.
And that's how they time it out. Except for the West Coast, they would go on Thursday. And so they just time it out differently. That's okay.
Yeah.
Right? The West Coast thing is interesting because I don't think anybody, Kyle, right now, 2 years into this, I don't think there's any one formula that works.
No. I mean, a lot of it's just figuring out things as you go and what actually works for you and your team, and everyone does it differently because every team is different, and every coach is different, and every situation, every game is just different.
See, I just don't think anybody has figured out west to east, east to west in the conference, and we're 2 years in. This is the second season into it.
I'd probably give it until, at least for the East teams traveling west, I'd give it a few more years. I feel like the West teams traveling east will get there quicker because they need to. But for a Penn State traveling west, I'm guessing it'll probably take a second trip around to every school to really be into it.
Now Oregon, for example, I'll tell you what they did. Oregon, like they came in here the day before. Oh, look, see, they came in the day before. They played fine, and so did UCLA. You know, coming east, a little faster. You know, it knocks an hour off the trip coming east. But the reason Oregon did it was a 7:30 game. When they had played Northwestern, which was a noon Eastern, 11 Central Time game, they win on Thursday. Right? So they've been a little more flexible as to what doing. Now they're playing Iowa tomorrow. That's a 3:30 or that's a 7:30 game. That's a night game.
I believe it is the 7:30 night game, if I'm not mistaken.
Which is going to be a heck of a game.
It is the 3:30 kickoff on CBS.
Okay, 3:30 on CBS. Now, it's halfway across the country, I'm going to guess. I mean, I'd have to maybe text Jerry Allen and ask, but that they probably went today. But I think going west, you know, I don't think anybody knows in football or basketball yet how to handle it. There's a lot of sports science that's involved. You know, how does your body react? Does your body... This is difficult for me to assess, and here's the reason why, Kyle. I don't get jet lagged.
No.
I never have.
And that's the thing.
And I don't know why.
Well, that's the thing is that
I don't know why.
You don't get jet lagged. I sometimes do. So then it's all of a sudden like every person's body reacts differently to travel. And so you can't like get one set way where everyone's going to feel jet lagged or not. You have to just kind of guess and make a general plan that would fit the most people for a trip.
Right. And I think that's a really good point by you, because I sit there and I look at it and I go, okay, some people say that if you're there a day, then you're fine. There's some people that say that jet lag doesn't set until the second day. Right? And of course, if they ask me, which doesn't matter, I'm irrelevant on the trip. I mean, I'm irrelevant.
But if you were a player,
I'm just saying from a personal experience, right? Like, let's not pretend I haven't gone across the country how many times in my lifetime to do games. I mean, it's not just the last 2 years. I've never been jet lagged, and I have no idea why. None. Zero. All right? It just is okay. Well, what about the time shift? Nope, doesn't bother me. Don't care. It's noon in the east, 9 o'clock here. We're good.
Like the
only time I have to adjust the time is if I'm doing a show and I'm out on the coast.
Yeah, you got to figure out when.
Okay, so this show we do it at 11 o'clock. Okay, well, I'd have to do it at 8 o'clock in the morning. Right? That's the only adjustment I have to make. But that's me.
Yeah.
Right? Other people are like, I was talking to Tony Knopp. We've had Tony on many times. And Tony and I and Dave Scarborough had lunch when I was in Los Angeles last month. And Tony says that when he goes east, comes back, he said it wipes him out for a couple of days. And it's, again, so I don't think there's any exact science for a team, because you correctly point out it's not one size fits all. Okay, there are certain players like jet lag, who cares? You got other players like, oh, I'm wiped out. And so you don't know how to judge it. I think you just go out with the best plan you can and just go with whatever you have, because I don't think something, and this is my fault for not looking into it. I should have. I'll take the time at some point. I want to know in basketball, so I'll do the basketball part. What was the record of the team in the first game of the trip?
See, that's what I was wondering.
And then what's the record of the team in the second game of the trip? Now, part of it is who you're playing, too. But the first game of the trip happened to be Michigan State. Well, I guess we didn't win the game.
Yeah.
But the second game of the trip may have been,
Yeah, but for instance, last season, Penn State traveled. Was that last year, California?
Yes.
So last year they traveled, they faced off against one of the California teams, then faced the second one a few days later. Like, usually you're acclimated by a couple days for people who do get jet lag. So let's say that second game, 4 days into your trip, all of a sudden you're kicking the team down and you're beating them and you're winning games. Like, what does that look like? The problem is, as you said, sometimes there's teams that are really good. Like, for instance, if you look at women's basketball last season, teams traveling west in the Big Ten may not have played well either game because both UCLA and USC were like top 5 teams in the nation. Right. So it's a bit of a tough one to gauge. But at the same time,
for example, Washington in basketball played at Ohio State first. I think that's the way the pattern works.
Ohio State and Penn State.
It's Ohio State, Penn State's a trip, Rutgers, Maryland's a trip. So they try to group the trips. And I do give the Big Ten a lot of credit for. I think they put a lot of thought into scheduling.
Yeah.
With football, where you either have a bye after going west. You either have a bye week or a home game. Last year, Penn State had a bye week. This year, they had a home game. So I think those are smart thoughts. In basketball, they've tried to take and make everything a 2-game swing. So you go out to the Southern California, you play UCLA and USC in whatever order. The only part that I think they have not done a good job with, is, and I don't know why they came up with this thought process. Penn State last year played UCLA on a Saturday. They should have played USC on Monday.
Yeah.
Because you're already there.
Get the Sunday off, recharge, play Monday. Get home.
You go through a walkthrough, you shoot a little bit, whatever, and then play Monday and then come back. Instead, they played Saturday and they played Tuesday. Well, this time when they play Washington, Oregon, they're going to play on Wednesday. They're going to play Saturday.
Okay.
Now, I have to. Now, this is a little different because USC, UCLA. You just stay in a hotel.
You can go to both.
Right. So you're centrally located. So last year we stayed in Beverly Hills at the Marriott.
And Oregon, Washington, you got to travel from one state to another.
Right. So Dick and I are Dick and I are renting cars on the road anyway. Because, for those who don't realize, in a money-saving move, Penn State they're using 30-seat planes this year. So Dick and I have to go commercial. So the quicker they handle the shutdown, the better. We have to go commercial this year. You're part of it, So we'll rent cars on the road. So the Seattle-Eugene trip we'll rent a car, and then Washington, do the Washington thing on a Wednesday night. That's fine. It's going to be really late too. I think it's 10:30.
It's 10:30 game.
10:30 Eastern time. So it's 7:30 there. I mean, again, so it's no big deal. I'll get up the next day, do the show, whatever, and then when that's over with, he and I are going to drive to Eugene. It's like 4.5 hours. That's nothing.
No.
I mean, see America first, do the games later, and I mean, it's no big deal. It's only a 4.5 hour trip, and we'll get a good long look at the Cascades and hey, look, there's Mount Rainier, there's Mount Hood. Hey, it's great. Hey, let's take a side trip. Let's go to Mount St. Helens, see how it looks. And so that one, I guess I can understand the separation because you do have to travel from one to the other. But USC and UCLA, where you're centrally located, I don't think you have to. But that's a very subtle, not a big criticism. How about that? Not a big criticism, just a subtle one. That one, when they're both, Westwood and downtown LA, because USC is in downtown LA.
Yeah.
It's close enough.
So let's get to the Indiana game tomorrow. We'll start there before going to college basketball. So Indiana comes to town for a noon kickoff tomorrow here in Happy Valley. It's going to be at a 55-degree temperature.
Yep.
Not freezing cold, not warm, but okay.
It's November.
Yeah. Wear your beanies, wear your gloves, you'll be fine.
It's November.
Yeah.
What do you expect on November 8th? It's on November 8th. I mean, we don't have the cushy indoor place.
I know. Crazy. So Indiana comes to town.
Which was formerly sponsored by an air conditioning company and didn't have air conditioning in it.
Now they're sponsored by a wireless company and don't have internet in there.
I will never forget that.
Steve Jones?
No, it was 2008, I think it was. We go in there, it was September, and it was hot. It was September. It was a really warm day. It wasn't hot. It was really warm.
You go into the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, New York, for those wondering at home.
And we go into the dome, and Jack and I are like, geez. It's like, we got to the fourth quarter, and we're like, oh, it's really warm in here.
As somebody who went to school there, when you'd walk out of the dome in the building, because of how it was insulated and built, it basically made a gigantic wind tunnel because of the change of temperature and pressure.
No, but it's more than that because of the inflatable dome. That's the wind.
Yes.
No. That's the wind. Every inflatable dome I've been in. Yeah. And I've been in 4 of them. I mean, they don't really exist, but the Hoosier Dome, the Metrodome, and believe it or not, that little basketball arena they have down in South Florida, what was called the Sun Dome, it was only like 9,000 seats. Was an inflatable. Every time you open the door, because the
air
roof
to
is
keep
inflated.
it up. Yeah. Well, that plus the temperature change made it so you'd walk out and it'd be like 90 degrees in the Carrier Dome. Yeah. You'd leave it and you'd be in 30 degrees in snow, but you'd be so warm. Yeah. You would walk out and be melting. You'd like be walking through and melting snow around you, which was a really fun thing to have happen.
So tomorrow's a November day. It's going to be, it's actually a very nice November day. It's going to rain a little bit this afternoon and this evening, then nothing tomorrow, then a little bit on Sunday, and they get really cold. So tomorrow, in other words, if this game was Monday or Tuesday, it would be, hey, what do you own in terms of gloves, hats, everything.
So what can listeners and watchers expect tomorrow when this Indiana team does come into town? Of course, they came in number 2 in the nation in both the AP poll and the college football playoff poll because, rightfully so, they're one of the best teams in the nation.
No offense to the AP poll, it means nothing.
Yeah.
College football playoff poll means everything because that's where the national champion is determined.
So they are number 2 in the poll. So they're sitting here at number 2 in the nation coming into town. For those wondering at home, last year's team was good. They had the Curtis Rourkes and the like. Now they're coming in with Fernando Mendoza at quarterback.
He's a really good player.
He's a really good player. Really good. Cooper Jr., Surratt. This entire group is they're good across the board.
Okay, so let's explain this. Kurt Signetti, I'm not going to sit there and play this stupid game of Googling him for God's sakes. I remember when Kurt was the head coach at IUP, right? Not that far from here. All right. And I remember when I go back to when his dad was the head coach at West Virginia and then was succeeded by Don Nehlen. So he goes to Indiana trust means a lot when you're a head coach in terms of a player. So he gets 13 of his JMU players, James Madison, and they transfer with him. He knows them. He knows what they're capable of and what they're not capable of. They know him, and they know his system. Okay. Good start because JMU was a really good program. One of those programs like you schedule them and you don't really fans are like, hey, it's an easy day, James Madison. Okay.
They were top 25 in the nation when he was there.
Right.
They were
exactly.
a good team.
But you know how it goes early season.
Yeah.
This will be a walkover game. I said, okay, I'm glad you know the game. Here, why don't you serve the food at the tailgate? Do less talking.
The Dukes were good. The Dukes were a good team is the point.
Yes.
But continue.
Right. But he knows the 13 guys.
Yeah.
12 of the 13 end up being significant contributors. They had a schedule last year that was built for them to do one thing, and that was get them to a bowl game. Their non-conference schedule allowed them to have 3 games that they would be the prohibitive favorite in each, with the idea of winning the 3, and then if I can win 3 Big Ten games, I'm going to a bowl game.
Yeah.
That's how the schedule at Indiana 1 year ago was set up. Okay? All right. Well, they go through the 3 games, and it's like Sherman going through Atlanta.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Well, what are they doing along the way? They're gaining confidence. Now they hit the Big Ten. Well, when they hit the Big Ten, they kept doing the same thing. Well, each week they did it, they got more confident. Each week they did it, they got more confident. And to be honest with you, they did not have a major league Big Ten schedule last year.
No. They had UCLA, Maryland, Northwestern, Nebraska, Washington, Michigan State, and then to wrap it up, they had Purdue. Before that, though, they had the Michigan-Ohio State double, which was the two.
Those were the 2 games at the end. So the first half against Michigan, they play really well. They look great. Then the second half, that's where the cracks in the dam started to expose itself. And in the second half, and the big problem is Michigan had no passing game to speak of.
No, it was a run game, and that was it.
Run game.
They passed for 60 yards. It was a big game.
Right. I mean, the passing game was a real struggle for Michigan last year. And all of a sudden, Indiana is in a game that they had control of in the first half is hanging on. And they beat Michigan, but the cracks were exposed in that game. They go to Ohio State. They scored in the first drive, and then after that, Ohio State just woodshedded them. Purdue was an easy game; it should have been. Then they played Notre Dame, and they played at South Bend. It didn't go well. Now this year, okay, Indiana is a team this year that people said, they're actually very good. In other words, people are like, hey, they're a very good team. They're a good program. They got a lot of people back, blah, blah. D'Angelo Pons is back. They added Hemby. This Mendoza guy should be interesting. All the wideouts are back. Okay. So they're a top 15 team. Okay. Except they're better this year. So now they go through, and when they play you, they are not only looking to win the game, they are looking to blow you out.
All you need to do is ask the Illinois head coach, ask Brett Bielema, say, hey, how was it? 63-10.
Well, how about Mike Loxley last week?
Yeah, Mike Loxley last
55-10.
Or go ask UCLA and Tim Skipper and that crew, 56-6.
I mean, they just want to not only win, they want to bludgeon you. So, but along the way, they've had 2 significant tests. Each one they passed, all right, at Iowa. We all know, in a lot of ways, Penn State actually played Iowa better than Indiana did. But they go in there. They needed to hit a big play, and they did when Mendoza hit Elijah Sherrod with a 49-yard touchdown pass. You're like, okay. Iowa's offense not good enough. Okay, and really, I mean, Penn State should have won that game out there. They had not given up the 67-yard run to Gronowski. They win the game, right? And that quarterback run thing is doggone has been just darn tough to watch because you feel like it's something that should be controlled. It doesn't mean a quarterback can't run and take off. I mean, let's take last week for example. Ohio State's quarterback got out. It looked like they had him, 2 guys, and he got 9 yards. Okay, I can accept that. It's not great to see, but you can accept that. The problem is when you see a 52-yard run by Iamaleava, when you see a 28-yard run by Dante Moore, when you see a 67-yard run by Gronowski. That part should not happen, okay? That should not happen. Simple as that. The run he made last week, okay. Julian Sand gets out, quarterback gets loose, gets 9 yards the first time. That does happen. Okay, so I have no issue with that. So they hit that play. They win, okay? Penn State actually played Iowa better than Indiana did, but Indiana won the game because Iowa's offense wasn't good enough to put enough pressure on their defense. And it was a 20-13 game, and of course they took the world-famous safety at the end, which of course changed all the betting lines. But that's a winning football play by them. Okay, so I really do not remotely care. Okay, you may care, which I'm not saying you. I'm talking about the
people.
Audience. All of you out there, there may be a whole segment of you that really care about that, and I respect that completely because that's what you care about. I just want to know who wins the game. So
and they won.
So now you go to Oregon. Big build-up, game days there, the whole thing. Autzen Stadium, 60,000, really loud place. I've never been there. I'm looking forward to it in a couple of years, going there and seeing it and for myself. And this will be Indiana's comeuppance, essentially, right?
This will be the game they finally lose.
This will be the game that they are exposed. This is what was exposed. Fernando Mendoza throws not just an interception. I think he's only thrown, 3 this year?
Yeah, 4. After this past week, 4.
4. Okay? He throws an interception. It's not just an interception. It's a pick 6.
To Brandon Finney, I think.
Yeah, Brandon Finney, the freshman out of McDonough in Maryland. Okay? And takes it all the way back. 90+% of the time. You throw a pick 6 on the road, and you are on the losing plane flying back. Not this team. The ensuing drive, on the ensuing kickoff, they come back, bang, 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 bang down the field, and got it right back. That told me everything about the mental makeup and the heart of that team moving forward. In other words, their attitude was like, all right, so what? All right.
It happened. We got to go score again.
Let's go. Okay, everybody, let's go take care of it. And they did. Right? That was the old Joe Paterno mentality on the sideline. He'd get to late in the game, big game, and he'd go up and down the sideline. He says, all right, come on. Who's going to make the play? Who's going to make the big play? One of you is going to make a big play. Who's it going to be? And Joe would do that up and down the sideline. All right? And that's, I'm not saying Cignetti says that, but you get a feeling they've got that attitude of it. They're physical up front. They won't have Evans for the game tomorrow. He's probably going to be out maybe the rest of the month, right? But so they won't have Evans. So the transfer from Ohio State, Mikulski, he'll fill in and play. He filled in last year for Simmons. Then he got hurt last year. He'll play. Their tight end play is okay, right? The transfer from Wisconsin played against Penn State last year. Good player, good blocker. Their wide receivers are very, very good. And it's an interesting mix because E.J. Williams transferred from Clemson, but he transferred in and played for Tom Allen. Omar Cooper was recruited by Tom Allen. But Elijah Surratt, who started in Loretto, went to James Madison, then followed Kurt Cignetti in Indiana, and he has been
a stud.
Terrific. All their running backs are transfers.
Hemby.
Right. Black. And, I think there's a freshman in there, isn't there? So 2 of the 3 are.
I believe so. One second.
But of the 3 running backs that they'll use in the game,
Kobe Martin.
I think Kobe Martin is a freshman.
He is a freshman.
Right.
Freshman from Fishers, Indiana.
Yeah. So they get him to come in, and he's been good for them. He's a good player. But Black and Hemby have been the primary guys. I think
they're on approximately the same number of yards. Hemby's got about 30 more carries.
Yeah. Well, but here's the other part. Okay, of the running backs, Black has 1 catch. Martin has 1 catch. Hemby's in double digits. He's the only
11.
one. He's the only one they consistently use in the pass game. Okay, Mendoza throws a beautiful ball. This is where they did a great job of scouting in the transfer portal. They found a quarterback that Curtis Rourke did a marvelous job for them last year. Yet they went out in the transfer portal because Rourke was done eligibility-wise and found a better player. You got to give them credit for that. Now, defensively, their front seven is just relentless. And I am so impressed with their linebackers. So impressed. Now, I think Aiden Fisher, the guess is he's going to play, but we'll see how he plays. He's coming off a knee injury against UCLA a couple of weeks ago, so we'll see how he does. He may be fine. We'll see. But when Manny Diaz was here, Penn State looped and stunted and looped. Okay? Did a lot of it. Indiana does more than Manny's defenses did here. And I thought Manny did it.
Did a lot.
Did it a decent amount of time. They do it more there. I'm not so sure if maybe one-on-one they're maybe not as great. That's why they've got to get you into spots. But the timing to do it is very difficult. And Indiana's timing on their stunts and loops are really good. The linebackers are really good. They attack. They are downhill attacking guys, which then makes their secondary pay off. D'Angelo Pons was one of the guys I put on my All Big Ten preseason list when I voted because I just thought he was a terrific player. And then, they caught a break. Lewis Moore, there was some question about his eligibility. Not academically.
Yeah.
Right? I want to say maybe because he had been at a junior college. Maybe. I don't know. But he had to go to court, and they were able to get a stay or something like that has allowed him to play this season. And he's played great. I think he has 5 interceptions.
He does have 5
right?
interceptions.
They haven't missed a kick. They have not missed a kick all season. Okay? And with the field goals and extra points, I think he's 10 of 10.
Their kicker, Radicic, is 10 of 10. They have Brennan Frankie. Yeah, he's 1 of 2, but he's their 50-plus yard specialist.
He's the bomber. He's the kickoff guy in the bomber.
He had a 58-yarder this season, by the way, just to note, because that is, 58 yards in college is crazy.
Well, that would be the Beaver Stadium record. Okay. Gary Homer of Ohio University hit a 57-yarder, and Jordan Stout against Pitt hit a 57-yarder.
So, to give you an idea of...
Right. Okay, so that's what he's got. Their return game's good. Return game's good. But this is a team that you have to. The running game for Penn State is going to be very important. Katron Allen, you're going to have to run the ball against these guys some to then loosen up the pass game. It also, I talked to Terry about this, and I said, with the running game, because he's talking about if they can get Singleton and Allen 35 touches in the game, that would be important. I'm using Terry's number now. I'm not just making up my own number here. So I'm, and he talked about 35 being an interesting number. If you're getting those guys 35 touches, what it is doing is, if you're if you're getting 35 touches, you're somewhat successful with it. Okay. If you're not having success, you got to throw the ball. Now suddenly you're only getting 15 to 20 touches. It's different. But if you're getting 35 touches between running game, pass game, now that means you're having some success with it, which now means you can shorten the game. I think this is going to be a game of what I refer to as possessions. If Penn State can keep the possessions in the game to 8 or 9 apiece, that would be important.
Make it a fight, basically.
That means you are putting together some time-consuming drives. Doesn't have to be 7 or 8 minutes.
5-6.
Right. What's interesting about Indiana last week is they had, I believe, 3 drives last week of 90 yards or better.
Against Maryland?
Against Maryland.
I believe they did. I'm going to pull it up real quick. They had, in the first quarter, 93 yards. Second quarter, 76-84. Third quarter, 63. Fourth quarter, 95 and 93. Yeah. They had 2 in the fourth quarter, combining for 13 and a half minutes of time. It's crazy.
You doubt me.
No, I don't doubt you. I don't doubt you, Steve Jones.
You act like I never researched
it. I do not doubt anything.
I'm just joking.
I know.
I could care less.
You know who I don't doubt? Dick Girardi. Continue.
Neither do I. I got those poor two guys.
But the point is, this Indiana team, good team,
just
coming to town.
Good.
Yeah, they're a good team.
They're really, really good. They're well coached. They're smart, and they've got an attitude. Okay, and so So you take it at a possession at a time. All right. I think you have to be smart with how you go about this. Last week against Ohio State, and some of this is Ohio State's defense, but Penn State had 145 yards passing last week. Okay, all right. Well, 104 of the 145 yards was after the catch, which meant Penn State's passing game was more horizontal than it was vertical. Okay? So you need to get a little more vertical while mixing in some horizontal.
Yeah.
Okay. And when I talk about mixing in horizontal, for example, this is where you can, and I talk about. There's no doubt Katron Allen in traffic is the superior running back. There's no question about that, and we've thought that for years. Okay, so he is the race car that when he's in the pack, he can pick his way through the pack. He'll slingshot, go inside. He'll take it to the outside, whatever. Nick Singleton is the race car that needs clean air to run. Right?
If you give him a step, he takes 3.
But if I can get him into space, let's take the 16-yard. Technically it's a pass play when they do that little toss, right? The little inside toss. That's a pass play. All right. When he got that 16-yard play, that's the kind of play that gets him into space,
into gear,
right? And gets him where now he's to high speed. You've got to figure out how to catch him. And then he came right back and he had the touchdown run to the edge where Ohio State was not going to catch him. Okay. Here's the next part. In the 2 games since Terry's taken over, Penn State has played very good to excellent football in 6 of the 8 quarters. 3 of the 4 quarters at Iowa, they played very good to excellent football. The first, second, and fourth quarters against Ohio State, they played very good to excellent football.
Problem was those last 2 quarters.
The problem was the last moments of the fourth quarter sunk them at Iowa. The third quarter at Ohio State, okay, it was watching a scarlet and gray avalanche. Okay, so when you get into a game like this, you've got to be very good to excellent in all 4 quarters of the game. There can't be one where you're looking up at them. And here's the other part that I think is going to be important. You have to be either at or in the lead against this team, right? Because if you fall behind two possessions in the game against them, you fall behind 2 possessions, right? Now they're taking the pedal to the floor. They become more adventurous with what they're doing, and I mean adventurous. I mean they come at you, right? This is not a team like, well, we got the lead now. We'll just run it out. No, hey, that's not what they want to do.
No.
So you've got to be either in front or within a possession of this team.
Yeah,
that's where you have to be. That's why the number of possessions in the game to me are very important, and the possession advantage, who's up by 1 or 2 possessions, makes a big difference in a game like this. You're at home. How does your crowd react? Okay,
it's going to be
Okay.
Before we get to the how the crowd react, it is a point to bring up. It is the first home game that's been here since change.
Well, Ethan Grunkmeyer is making his 3rd Big Ten start. He's one of the few quarterbacks in the history of the Big Ten whose 3rd start finally is at home.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're home. Okay, I don't know how many people are going to be there tomorrow. You know,
we won't know until noon.
I can't control that. I also can't control how they react. But my thought is, it's only my thought. That's still your team out there. You can help them. They could use you. Okay? They don't need you to be against them. They've already played at Iowa and Ohio State where almost everybody in there was against them. It would be nice for a change to go in there and have them feel like they're for them.
It would be.
Right? Because the last 2 times they've gone out, they have had stadiums that were obviously and justifiably for their teams. That's the way it is. But they're against you. You're fighting the crowd. You're fighting the attitude. You're fighting a lot of things along the way. Okay, fine. I mean, we can't even have a manager take the case up the ramp at Ohio State without him getting heckled by – he's a manager.
Yeah.
You're heckling the manager? Go to the parking lot. Your day is over. Okay? Done. Venga Ioane hops over the wall and goes help him. But they're heckling the manager? What are we doing here? Okay? So now you get to be the one that is at home. You get to be the one that should be the ones getting support. I would hope, it's only a hope of mine. I'm not going to be naive about this. I would hope they get support. And if it's a really close game, they can make a big difference in the game.
Yeah. Other games going on around the nation, top 25-wise. Tonight, 9 o'clock, Northwestern at USC.
Look, USC's actually a pretty good team. And that was a good win for them at Nebraska. I know Dylan Raiola got hurt in the game.
Yeah, he's out for the season.
He's out for the year with a broken fibula. Yeah. But USC hung in that game. And then in the fourth quarter, when they needed to make plays, they did. And that was a big win for them. USC still has 2 losses?
They are sitting here at 6-2, yes.
6. So, look, technically, they're still in the ball game here. Right? If you have 2 losses, you at least are in the pool. It doesn't mean that in the poll you're there. You're not. But there are teams in front of you. If you keep winning, they could have 3 losses.
They were put at 19th in the college playoff rankings. So they're not that far.
Well,
they have a hill to climb, but
actually they're 9 spots out.
Yeah, they're 9 spots out, but the point is,
because remember, okay, for example, when I say, well, no, they're 19, they're 7 spots out. No, they're not.
9.
You're 9 spots out because right now the ACC leader is outside of the top 12, and they get a spot, and Memphis isn't even in the top 25, and technically they'd be the designated one that would be in group of 6 right now. So there are only 10 spots available at the moment. So right now they'd be 9 spots out, but at least they are still there.
You have a shot, and your shot is to climb up there, beat Northwestern. Next week they have Iowa, and then Oregon and UCLA. If they can run that gauntlet, puts them in a spot.
It does.
Tomorrow, games going on at noon. Georgia versus Mississippi State down in Starkville. You've got
Mississippi State has played much exponentially better at home. It's a young team. Jeff Lebby's team has played way better at home than they have on the road. But the Texas collapse, and it was a collapse.
It was rough, real bad.
Was at home.
Yeah,
and 10 minutes ago in the game, you've got the game, and then suddenly you don't have the game.
Yeah. Other games going on. Speaking of Texas, BYU versus Texas Tech. That is 7 versus 8. That is a big game at noon in Lubbock.
Yeah, it is. BYU's undefeated.
8-0 versus 8-1. Number 7 versus number 8 in the nation.
Texas Tech has been great. I think all season long. You want to talk about a program, and we've talked about Double Eagle Energy. They spend a lot of money on that roster. Not a little bit, a lot of money in the roster. And they must feel like right now they're getting some payback from that. But essentially that game puts whomever wins it into the driver's seat to be in the Big 12 championship game. Right? You still have to win games.
Yeah.
But it puts you in that spot.
Because then you're win up on whichever, you're tied with the team. If you're BYU and you lose, Texas Tech wins. BYU and Texas Tech are both 8-1 or 9-1, 9-1.
Which means they may play each other again.
Yeah. And then Cincinnati, Houston, Utah are all 7-2. They're back a game. So all of a sudden you've got a game cushion.
Yeah. Now, again, it's all the conference records. I mean, it's not just the overall records.
No,
the conference record.
And then coming on up, Ohio State Purdue is at 1 o'clock in West Lafayette. Ohio State will presumably win that game.
They are the prohibitive favorite, and justifiably so.
By 30.5 points right now. The Citadel versus Ole Miss. That's down in Oxford. We're going to skip past that one real quick.
No, but I want to make a comment about that because we are now entering the month of November. Okay, having the game here at this spot doesn't quite bother me as much.
It's because it's the beginning of November and there's still 4 games to go.
Okay. But the ones that are scheduled the week before your rivalry game have always bothered me in the SEC.
When it's like just before Thanksgiving and all of a sudden there's a Citadel.
Okay. I don't. And, okay. When the College Football Playoff Committee begins to vote and do their rankings, scheduling that game, in my opinion, disrespects the committee. Because remember, the SEC only has 8 conference games. They have done a brilliant job over the years of what I refer to as the scheduling mirage. And the reason I call this scheduling mirage is this. They do a wonderful, they're really smart about how they do this. Where doesn't it feel like every week there's a big SEC game?
Something somewhere all the time.
Right? Like 1 or 2 big SEC games every week. And then you realize that, well, yeah, there are 1 or 2 in September on this particular day, and everybody else is playing some non-conference game. Most of the non-conference schedules in the SEC are not very good.
No.
Right? And they've got 4 of them. And the Citadel one, okay, because it's the first weekend of November, I let that slide because it's the first weekend of November. Okay, I got it. Okay? I understand it. The ones that really bother me are it's the stretch run, and we're trying to figure out
who goes where
at this point to then set up the final couple of polls here because they're weekly snapshots, right? And this is what if I was sitting in the committee room, again, this weekend's off. I'm not talking. I'm talking about when we get to the November 22nd weekend. Okay. I come out on that poll on Tuesday after that, right? On Tuesday the 25th, and every single team that played a team like that, I would rank them 13, 14, and 15. Right? And then, can you explain why you ranked them 13, 14, and 15? I said, yes, because they disrespected us by playing that game. Right?
Yeah.
Right? In other words, now, that doesn't mean the next weekend I can't move them back to 3, 2.
But for the moment.
Because they're snapshots. So in a snapshot, I can send any message I want in a snapshot. Right? That's why I always love it here. I can't believe it. I looked at the first poll. What? The most ridiculous one I heard this week was, Indiana should be ahead of Ohio State. Who the heck cares? I mean, for goodness sakes. They're okay. It doesn't matter.
They're both getting a bye.
Okay, if you have no losses, you get a bye.
Yeah.
If you have 1 loss, you are in with no sweat.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's all they care about. They don't care where they are.
And I'm talking about regular season. To me, losing your championship game is not one of those.
Well, that's what they set that standard precedent last year.
That's why when Penn State played Oregon last year, remember what my attitude was? I kept telling everybody, and I said it on the pregame show. Said, here's what's at stake tonight. The winner of this game will get a bye. The team that doesn't win is going to end up getting a home game. That's okay.
Then it was said again with SMU, where SMU loses to Clemson, still gets in, and then everyone in Alabama was like, oh, but they lost. It was like they said it's not going to affect them, and it didn't.
Right, because they risked a 13th game while you sat at home.
It can only bump you up.
You should not be rewarded by sitting at home. Okay? And plus Alabama had 3 losses. All right? Including one at Oklahoma last year, which in 2024 was not a good loss.
Like 20-3 or 20-6
and it was
or whatever.
late in the year.
Yeah.
Okay? It was the weekend Penn State played at Minnesota because I went back to my hotel room because I had to go do the Daytona thing the next day. And I went back and watched it and went, yo. So that's how I look at how they schedule, where they have never once sent the message, and nor does the worldwide leader in sports make a big deal out of it. Why don't you show some chops and call them out? Yeah. Show some chops. But they won't show chops. And see, ESPN's reputation keeps taking hits left and right. The solitaire scandal, this YouTube deal. A lot of people are not enamored with them. Game Day does, for the most part, a great job. I mean, for the most part, they do a great job. They do a lousy job on this. In fact, when it comes to this, they flat out stink. Right? They won't call out a team for playing a game on November 22nd when the College Football Playoff Committee is trying to evaluate teams, and you're out there playing Mercer. Really, you're playing Mercer? Right? Guess what? This week, you're 13th.
Speaking of
thanks for scheduling it. You 3 teams that did that, you're now 13, 14, 15. Oh, I can't believe they did it. Hey, come up with a better schedule. Now, they will, starting next year, they're going to 9 games. That will that'll change a lot of things. But that message should have been sent years ago. The worldwide journalistic leader in sports should have called them out, but no guts, no glory.
Speaking of SEC games, Texas A&M versus Missouri. Missouri, of course, is out without Bro Prabula, who was out with an injury. A&M comes in 3rd in the nation. Missouri 22nd. That game is down in Columbia. A&M is favored by about a touchdown in that one, but should be a good game.
A&M's a good team. Marcel Reed's a really good quarterback. I like the way he handles himself
Craver's
out there.
a good receiver.
Yeah, I mean, they've got some really nice talent there. I would have to. I mean, I really don't know because I haven't looked at their roster. How many of those guys were brought in by Jimbo Fisher? Now, Reed was, right? How many guys were brought in by Jimbo Fisher? How many of those were brought in by Mike Elko? But obviously, Mike Elko has done a brilliant job of whomever is there, of like Kurt Signetti. Like I mentioned which guys Tom brought in. Okay?
Yeah.
Right? Well, Signetti's done a brilliant job of coaching the guys he brought in and all the guys Tom brought in. Mike Elko's done a great job of coaching all the guys he brought in and all the guys Jimbo had. I mean, it's credit where credit's due. Mike is a really, really good coach.
Agreed. 3:30, already mentioned it. Oregon at Iowa.
I said that when Mike was at Duke.
I know. Oregon at Iowa in Iowa City. That game is 3:30. Oregon favored by about a touchdown in this one.
This is going to be one where, look, the speed of Oregon. I know it's, a lot of people don't think that Oregon has more speed than Iowa. Just kidding.
I think I have more speed than Iowa, Steve.
But Iowa plays its game. You can beat Iowa when you take the lead. Now, doggone Penn State, they had it. That's what's so galling about it. Remember, I made a big deal on the broadcast about a 2-possession advantage in the second half. Because Penn State got it to. That should win the game against that group almost every time. That's why that 67-yard play was so galling. You finally had what you needed. If you were up 2 possessions on that team, I don't care where you're playing, 9 times out of 10, you beat Iowa because they're not good enough to overcome a 2-possession disadvantage when it is a low-possession game, and they play a low-possession game. Oregon needs to play a game that's about a 10 to 12 possession game. They need to use their speed against them. If they get up multiple possessions, then put them away. And that's the formula for Oregon to win. Iowa needs to keep the possessions down, needs to have this thing go to the last 7 or 8 minutes of the game where like a turnover suddenly makes a difference and you cash it in and you go from there.
And
by the way, if Iowa loses, then they're a 2-loss team. Right?
If they lose, they're done.
Right? For Oregon, it would be a damaging loss because it would be their second one. And they're already in the original ranking 9. So.
Moving down the line, 2 different teams here out of these next 2 games. One's at 4 o'clock, one's at 4:30, with differences in coaching. Auburn versus Vanderbilt. Auburn let go Hugh Freeze this week. We move down then to the Washington-Wisconsin game. Washington.
By the way, Durkin, who was the head coach at Maryland at one point, he is right now the interim head coach at Auburn. Okay.
Yeah. And then Washington at Wisconsin. Wisconsin is stated they're going to retain Luke Fickell for the 2026 season.
Look, about 3 weeks ago on this, for those who are religious listeners, viewers of this, you heard me say they would retain him.
Yeah.
And the reason I said they were going to retain him is that Chris McIntosh, I guess, my understanding is they talked. And when Luke Fickell went to Wisconsin, they wanted to change over how Wisconsin plays. You brought in Phil Longo from North Carolina. He only lasted 1 year. But they brought in Phil Longo. They're going to run the air raid. Going to be wide open, the whole thing, instead of ground and pound. And they can't get the players there to play air raid. Right? Phil Longo's no longer there. So he and McIntosh, I guess, talked, and they said, hey, look, there's been a formula here that started with Barry Alvarez. Brett Bielema did it. Paul Chryst did it. Now, Gary Anderson did not. Okay. Where ground pound, hard-nosed defense. You know, you see the number of Wisconsin offensive linemen in the NFL right now. You see the number of Wisconsin linebackers out there, T.J. Watt, Herbig, they're out there together with the Steelers playing. They feel they have to get back to what makes Wisconsin go, whether it's boring or not. And so when they officially said that, I was not even remotely surprised, because 3 weeks ago I had an indication from a couple of people I know that he was going to be safe for this year. They also have talked about putting more money into the program. That's been Virginia Tech made the big announcement after they let Brent Pry go that they're going to throw exponentially more money into athletics. Well, Wisconsin says they're going to throw more money into football, and they probably can't put their hand up fast enough on this private equity deal. Yeah.
Other games going on in top 25.
That's if you're asking where the money's coming from this, right? Okay. I will give you one quick hint on it's not really private equity, okay, because it's the California State Education Pension Fund. Okay. I'll give you a piece that there are several pieces of reporting. Many pieces of the reporting on it have been very good. Two pieces are wrong. Right? I'm not going to get into the money part of it. Okay. But I will tell you one part is wrong. You actually do not need a unanimous vote. Now, Tony Petitti wants a unanimous vote. There's a difference between you wanting a unanimous vote
and getting one.
Right? And getting one. And there's also a big difference. The rules do not state the vote has to be unanimous. Okay? So, I mean, they've got the votes there, but Tony would like to have everybody say yes to it.
Yeah.
And Michigan does not want to give him a win. Why don't they want to give him a win? Because he suspended Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Right? And they don't have a president right now.
No.
They have an interim. Right? So I just thought I'd throw that in there for everybody, because Wisconsin would be a beneficiary of it financially, which then, hey, we're going to throw more money into our football program. Well, that's where some of the money would come from.
Other games going on in the nation, top 25, Wake Forest at Virginia, Cal at Louisville, LSU at Alabama, and Navy at Notre Dame.
Okay, Navy-Notre Dame. Notre Dame has beaten Navy. Navy has beaten Notre Dame, one time since 1963? I mean, Roger Staubach's 80 now.
LSU at Alabama. Alabama's a better team than LSU, but LSU could always do something.
Wake Forest, you skipped over Wake Forest,
Virginia.
Don't skip over that game.
That's Charlottesville.
Okay. Couple things. Wake Forest is actually playing better football right now. Okay. 2, Virginia is one of those, they're the Denver Broncos of college football. Broncos won last night 10-7 over the Raiders. Okay. Every Broncos game, okay, they're 2 losses. Broncos have 2 losses, both on walk-off field goals. Okay? Yeah. Everything else has been come from behind, fourth quarter win, hang on win, but they're all close games for Denver. Virginia's the same way. Yeah. You look at the Virginia games one after another. They're all close games.
NC State, they lost by 4. Florida State, they won by 8. Louisville, they won by 3. Washington State won by 2. North Carolina won by 1. Cal won by 10.
Right. See, and that's in other words, yes, you are leading the charm life, and you believe in the fourth quarter you're going to win. I've got that. But you're also playing with fire week in and week out when that is the formula. Yeah. Week in and week out. You are always a mistake, a possession, or the other team great execution away from you not winning those games. Because, see, that's Iowa's problem. Their margin of error is very thin, and it's based on possessions of the game and so forth. Virginia very much the same way. Morris is a really good college quarterback. See, this is where North Carolina came in, and Mike Lombardi and Bill Belichick. And Lombardi's the one. He's the GM, so he acquired the talent. And look, they knew they had to change over their roster. So they're changing over the roster. They didn't want to keep Morris, right? Because the quarterbacks they brought in, they said, that guy has a chance to play in the NFL, right? He's just a college quarterback. That's what they said. Well, guess what?
He's playing well in college.
Well, guess what? You are playing college football, Mike. You weren't playing in the NFL, okay? The next game up, okay, for you is not the Los Angeles Rams.
Instead, they took on the Syracuse Orange with a freshman quarterback who was the walk-on who was on the lacrosse team. That's how he played quarterback.
Yeah.
Not great.
Right. No, but my point about Wake Forest, Virginia is Virginia's margin of error. They keep winning. So you've been leading a charmed life. Do you continue? Now, they're at home. It'll help. But do you continue to lead the charmed life? But because you are winning like this, you have a lot of confidence. But Wake Forest also had a big win recently. I think it was 13-12 or something.
They beat SMU 13-12, then lost at Florida State 42-7.
Right. They went on the road. Okay, so we'll see how they bounce back. It's not as if Wake Forest is a bad team. I just think it's a more interesting game than people realize.
Yeah. Elsewhere going on in the sports world, of course, we'll discuss college basketball more next week here on the show because I'm intrigued to get into it a little bit more, especially discussing the Penn State men's basketball team and discussing college basketball as a whole because it's an intriguing season, and we'll stay with the college basketball stuff for Monday, but the Penn State men's team.
They play at New Haven tomorrow. New Haven plays Columbia today. Believe it or not, the New Haven had asked Penn State, they had set the game for tomorrow. New Haven actually did ask, can we move the game to Sunday? Which meant that I would have gone and done the game. As soon as the Indiana game was over, I would have gotten a car and I would have driven to Connecticut, which is fine. That's that's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. But because Penn State's playing Navy on Tuesday, Penn State did not want to move the game. And it was already in the written contract. So, in other words, it's already written down. So they're going to play tomorrow at New Haven. New Haven actually, UConn beat them with some ease, but only some ease. In other words, New Haven fought them pretty good. Right? Then they've got Navy here on Tuesday. That's a really interesting test for Penn State. Oh, it's Navy. It's a Patriot League team. I said, but Navy has all 5 starters back. A rarity in college basketball. And down the stretch last year, Ed DeChellis, of course, at that point was the coach, but John Perry was his, and JP, of course, coached here at Penn State. So JP's coming back. They played really well and got to the Patriot League championship game. They were a fun team to watch last year. The Benini kid, the one guard shot Paddock's really good. So, it's not going to be, they're playing Arizona. I got it. Okay? I got it. But it's still a really good test for this young team to face a team that has a starting 5 that achieved some success last year, is really cohesive. Navy plays tonight, by the way. It's part of that Veterans Classic that they're playing. It's a doubleheader. And to me, it's just a good test because I saw that starting 5 play last year, and I thought they were really good. Not a great, awesome, incredible tournament team. I'm not saying any of that. Okay, please. I'm just giving you, as a fan, some perspective that it's an interesting game against a veteran team that plays well together, right? And I think will be a very good test for Penn State at this stage. Okay? Did I say it was Arizona? No. Did I say it was Purdue? No. Did I say it's an interesting test against a veteran team? Yes. Okay, it's okay. Hey, I don't have a dictionary here, but I believe if I had one in front of me, it would be labeled as perspective.
And that game tomorrow for Penn State versus New Haven's on at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Of course, tomorrow, the noon kickoff for Penn State versus Indiana. Tonight, by the way, make a note of it as we wrap on up. Penn State men's hockey without Aiden Fink for a period of time. We don't know exactly how long. They are at Michigan State, number 1 versus number 3. That game is tonight at 7, and then tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Right. So it should be a big weekend for Penn State.
They're coming off a 6-point weekend at Ohio State, which was tremendous to get that at this stage. And very quickly, right? Again, same story with the rankings there. Once you get past the first of the year, it's pairwise. That's all that matters. It does not matter what the polls say. The polls mean zilch again. AP poll, coaches poll mean nothing in college football or college basketball. Neither one determines a national champion or a playoff. but they do make the sport more interesting, okay, which is, to me, critical. But once it comes time for championships, it's the college football playoff poll, it's the NCAA tournament committee, and it's pairwise that determine who does what, where, and why.
Thank you for listening to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, a 7 Mountain Media production. Come back at 11 every weekday for analysis of the latest happening in the sports landscape. From college football to European soccer, Steve and Kyle cover it all on Sports Talk with Steve Jones.